welcome to Ready Moveset Go, episode 12. As always, I'm your host, John of Room 100, and joining me today are PK King 544.
Hello.
PizzaDudeManGuy.
Hi.
And NantenJex.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back for another episode, and we actually have another pretty highly requested one, and something that I feel like is generally discussed pretty often in the Smash moveset creation community. You know, guys, do you ever think about like your past, your mistakes and things that you would want to do over in your life?
Sometimes.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I make mistakes, sure.
Everyone makes mistakes, and there's always things that we want to go back and change, and I'm sure Sakurai is no different. So our theme for this week is redoing or adjusting the movesets of fighters that are already in Smash. So this time we are exclusively sticking to the Smash roster, choosing characters that we think could use a little bit of a touch-up or that we want to change in some way, and give them a little bit of a makeover. So we did exclude Echo Fighters. We may do those some point separately. We haven't really discussed that yet, but we decided that giving an Echo Fighter their own unique moveset was a little bit of its own thing and separate from this prompt. And the order we're going in this week will be Pizza, Nanten, PK, and me. So everyone ready to go?
Yep, ready to go.
Move, set, go.
All right, kick us off.
All right. Well, I think I picked kind of an unusual one this time. Growing up with Super Smash Brothers as a little kid, I was always excited to see my favorite video game characters all coming together, all fighting against each other. And the big characters I grew up with were Mario, and he was great, and Link, and he was great, and Donkey Kong. And they've made improvements to Donkey Kong over the years, like giving him his somersault attack. But as a kid playing Donkey Kong in Super Smash Brothers, I was just coming off of playing Donkey Kong 64, and I was kind of like, Donkey Kong doesn't actually use many of his abilities. He just is kind of a big gorilla with big gorilla attacks.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't make any changes to him during Melee. The big changes came later. So I always thought about, when I was really young, what if they changed Donkey Kong to use his special abilities? And so this is actually a collection of really old ideas for me. I have very few notes because this is a thing I used to think about back when I was in 4th or 5th grade. So these are my ideas on a Donkey Kong that was more based on special abilities he was known for at that time. So of course, his neutral special, rather than being a punch, is his coconut gun. It fires in spurts. Diddy Kong uses his peanut pop gun, so this kind of goes along with it. Donkey Kong's shots are stronger. They don't have the same, able to eat the peanuts. I don't even know if they do that anymore. Or the exploding effect of Diddy Kong's peanut pop gun. Instead, by charging the move with Donkey Kong, he will enter a kind of aiming mode where you can use the joystick to aim Donkey Kong's gun up or down, like you're doing the first-person shooting in Donkey Kong 64. So you can choose the angle of your shot freely, more freely than Pit, who just kind of has two directions, forward and up. You kind of get a full diagonal range from forward to up with which to shoot your coconut. For the side special, I was really looking forward in Melee to all the characters are getting new special moves. What are they going to give Donkey Kong? Oh, a headbutt.
Yeah.
Something Donkey Kong's really well known for. Instead, I've given Donkey Kong a small transformation into Rambi the Rhino, which is an iconic mount to Donkey Kong, but also it's his transformation in Donkey Kong 64. Donkey Kong will turn into Rambi. So the way it works here is Donkey Kong just does a very quick transformation sequence where he becomes Rambi. He does a small kind of hop charge forward and then turns back. You can think of it as kind of like Kirby's Down B, but a forward version. During the move, Donkey Kong does a nice forward blasting attack. He is basically armored to the point where you can't hurt him, but there's just a starting and an ending lag, like Kirby's Down B. The difference is Of course, because it's forward charging, it aids in recovery, but also Donkey Kong is not invulnerable to damage. He won't get knocked back, but he can still be hurt, unlike Kirby. For the up special, another staple of Donkey Kong games, but also one of his abilities in Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong utilizes the barrel cannon. And so here it functions, kind of like in the game, but also like how it's worked as an obstacle or an item in Smash Brothers. Donkey Kong will hop into a barrel cannon, which will start spinning around in all directions. Then when you press an attack button, Donkey Kong will shoot in that direction. So if you mess up, you might die, but it's a launching up special recovery that also, if you hit opponents, you can blast them away. When you're in the barrel, opponents can hit you. Kind of like the Rhino attack, you'll take damage but not really get hit. But if you get hit enough when you're in the barrel or with a really strong attack, you'll break out and be sent flying like normal. A really strong attack will break Donkey Kong out of his barrel. And then, the down special really could just stay as hand slap because that actually is a famous Donkey Kong ability. But I decided, hey, as long as we're going with this theme, let's go all out. So I've decided for the down special to use the orange grenades from Donkey Kong 64. So you press down B, Donkey Kong tosses out a grenade. It's somewhat similar to Snake's neutral special. The explosion happens on contact, so no one's going to be able to pick them up or use them. The other special property about the orange grenades is while they're kind of weak here, they're very bouncy. So when you throw them on the ground, it'll do a pretty far hop. So yeah, it gives Donkey Kong a nice spammy floor projectile. Now, I still want the hand slap in the moveset. So what I thought would be cool is that then if we use some of those moves to change his regular moveset as well, the hand slap could easily be a down smash instead, where it just hits people on both sides. And that would be a little more like how it works in Donkey Kong Country, because the whole thing where he like rapidly slaps down and over and over and over and over again, that didn't really come about until Smash Brothers or Donkey Kong Country Returns, if I'm remembering correctly. In the original games, you could use the hand slap and you could spam it, but it was a very slow motion. So I think it works just as well as a down smash. You could do the giant punch as a forward smash instead, where it's the same thing, you just can't hold the charge. Because, his forward smash, that's the clap, that's pretty cool, but his up smash is already a clap, so... if you really wanted to, I guess, you could make the headbutt like, I don't know, an up aerial or something. And then, he's got other moves from Donkey Kong 64 that could work for his moveset as well. Like his down aerial could be a good old ground pound. But yeah, that's basically my idea for a Donkey Kong that uses more of the special moves of Donkey Kong around the Donkey Kong series, especially Donkey Kong 64, rather than just... punching and clapping for every single attack and using a headbutt.
Yes.
Nice.
Final Smash could go back, I almost forgot Final Smash. Final Smash could go back to being bongos, because the bongo blast in Donkey Kong 64 pretty much destroyed everything on the field. So that works pretty well for Final Smash still.
Yeah. I'm sweating over here a little bit, but so Donkey Kong was my secondary choice. And I do have like a whole moveset. We were exactly the same on a lot of the moves. Like the general idea of moving the old specials to smash attacks is, I would suspect we'll see a little bit of that going forward, because it's like a lot of the normals and smash attacks and stuff, those kind of represent like the core concept of that fighter, like in a fighting game, and then the specials is where a lot of the personality is. And earlier on, you didn't see that as much. It was all just kind of like, this is the character, like this archetype in a fighting game. So I also had F smash become giant punch. Down smash was like the ground slap. We had two moves that were exactly the same. One was in a different place. Up B being the barrel cannon, absolutely. And then the coconut gun I had as down B, but I had it working the exact same way, where you can aim it up and down, like literally.
Nice.
I said it was in between Diddy Kong and K. Rool, basically, like their the gun and the cannon.
Right.
So the two differences I had, I really considered doing Rambi. I have him as like an option for Final Smash, but I also considered the bongos. I also considered bananas in some way because it's like such a big thing as well. So the two main differences I had was neutral B was a barrel throw.
Oh, okay.
Like classic, the first appearance kind of thing.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
Yeah, just a projectile that would roll along the ground. And then side B was like a weirder one that kind of feels like an extension or different like take on Diddy Kong. Side B, I have Vine Swing, where like he would swing on a vine and kick if you tap. But like my core concept for DK that I had, kind of like my guiding principle, was acrobatic heavyweight. So he'd be a lot more movement heavy, a lot of really flowing stuff, down till being a roll instead of dash, and the dash would be the double kick from DK64.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. I was gonna say that too.
And then a lot of the aerials would come from Jungle Beat, because that actually had like a lot of pretty nice like animations and stuff in the air. But yeah, so I think DK is a great choice for it. It's just one of those characters where like they just kind of made him a big brawling ape.
Yeah, he was like the Smash heavyweight for a while until they added more. So that's how they built him, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was a really good choice.
Yeah. I think for most people, even like if you didn't grow up with Donkey Kong, you kind of play him for a second, you're like, oh, that's it. Like, it's a little underwhelming. I mean, all the spikes are cool and stuff, but like, I don't know, just visually, like, he's not too flashy or anything. So I like how that adds a lot more stuff going on to it. With the changes that they made to like his facial expressions and stuff like that too, like that's great, but also with this moveset, that would show a lot more too. So I like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stuff like that kind of helps. I would want to change the voice too. Like I would want to
Yeah,
get it to
that's
the
actually
Actually have the
too,
Kong
for
voice,
sure.
not the just monkey noises.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, it's not like
exactly.
like Yoshi makes dinosaur sounds. They use the Yoshi voice. I want the Donkey Kong voice. I want the Bowser voice. Bowser Jr. uses his voice.
It's so weird.
Yeah, no, yeah, the movesets, it feels like a sort of very Brawl-esque moveset, maybe Smash 4-esque, because Donkey Kong's obviously very simple. He was in the very first Super Smash Bros. Game.
Right.
So he's all just punches and physical attacks and headbutts. And this was obviously all before DK64 came out.
Right.
But that did add a lot more to his arsenal.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Which has basically been ignored
Right,
in Smash.
Because I was wondering, it's like, how close were those? Yeah, Donkey Kong 64 and Smash Brothers came out the same year. I think Donkey Kong 64 was actually a few months later. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was definitely too close to consider it that early.
Oh yeah, well, Donkey Kong, I'm pretty sure, was like one of the first characters made. He might have been the second character ever made after Mario.
Could be.
And I'm pretty sure that was like in 1997, so good 2 years before Smash came out.
Oh wow, yeah, good point.
So Donkey Kong 64 was probably in development at that point, maybe, who knows. I don't even know if Banjo-Kazooie was out at that point, so...
Yeah.
So I'm next, and my character is also someone from Smash 64.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing with this has actually been quite a difficult one for me, because reflecting on it, I actually feel like a lot of the characters in Smash Brothers are already quite well designed and quite fitting with what they're meant to be.
Yeah.
There are obviously some, like the semi-clones could easily be changed up, and obviously the Echoes can, but we chose to discount the Echoes. But I didn't want to go with any of the more obvious ones. But I couldn't really think of many ways for some characters and how I would actually actively change them. But I ended up settling on Samus to change, because that's one I hear a lot of people always talking about, wanting a different moveset. And I honestly don't think that the moveset needs to change massively. Like, for example, I still think the screw attack would be Samus's up special.
Yeah.
Because it's like the only real vertical attack she has. Like the only other like recovery one is the space jump, but really that's just multiple jumps, so it's not really an attack. It's more like having a triple jump. But I did think of a way to sort of add, I don't know if I'd call it a gimmick, but I guess I will add a bit of a gimmick to Samus that fits more in line with the Metroid series, specifically Metroid Prime. I decided to have a big focus on Metroid Prime for this moveset. And the core part of it is changing out Samus's neutral special, the Charge Beam, to being her standard attack, similar to Mega Man's, where you tap the A button to shoot a blast and you hold the A button down to charge it. So it's not like the smash attack for Mega Man, which is like his charged up attack. This basically functions the same as the special does, but it's set to the neutral, to the standard A.
Oh.
Which and just takes off a combo thing. And there's a reason for this. So you can still shoot and you can still charge and you can still hold the charge, because with the side B, which is still the missiles, if your charge beam is fully charged up and you use the side B, Samus will fire out the super missile, which was a charge combo attack in Metroid Prime. So a fully charged up charge beam, if you do it normally, it's just a regular missile. But if you have a fully charged up charge beam, then it becomes the super missile, which is a much faster, much stronger missile. Right, it would take away the random element of whenever the super missile might sometimes come out in Smash. But that's not all this sort of move does, because what's replaced the charge beam for the neutral special is actually the beam swap. Because in Metroid Prime, the game actually allowed you to swap between various beams. They didn't just stack like they did in, say, Super Metroid.
Yeah.
So you could swap between, like, the regular beam, the plasma beam, the wave beam, the ice beam, the dark beam, and the light beam. I believe that's all they are in Metroid Prime. Mm-hmm. And some of those are a bit pointless. You don't really need the light and dark beam in Smash, because all those really did was do more damage to the opposite element, and that's very specific.
Yeah.
Not necessary. And the plasma beam's really just a stronger version of the regular beam, so you don't really need that one. But the wave beam and the ice beam can do different things. So the way I've sort of structured this is that by default Samus has the regular charge beam, and then if you press the special button, it swaps to the wave beam, and the wave beam is kind of like Kazuya's neutral special, now that I think about it. Samus fires out like 3 shots and they actually go through opponents. So that you can go through and you can hit like 3 opponents in a row, essentially. But the further away, like the more people it goes through, the weaker it gets. So that the people who are further away, like the third person to be hit by it, will take less damage than the first person. It's overall a weaker version of the beam than the regular one, because the regular one's sort of gimmick is that it's the strong one. But obviously you can hit more people with this, and this can also be charged. And when this is fully charged and you fire it off, it's obviously a stronger version of the charge beam. But if you do the charge combo with the missiles, then you get the Wave Buster, which is like a continuous beam, essentially, for a short while. So the Wave Buster wouldn't have that limitation that the charge, that the Wave Beam usually has. It will damage everyone an equal amount. But it basically just goes in a thin, straight line in front of Samus. Samus... Either it wouldn't last very long, or Samus can't move when it's going on, or can't. If she jumps, then the beam will also rise. So it's not like the missiles where you can just fire it and then go do whatever while they go off and hit people. It's like a continuous beam. And then the other one is obviously the ice beam. So the fully charged ice beam has the ability to freeze people, but it generally does less damage than the charge beam. But then if you combine it with the missile, you get the ice spreader, which is like a massive... It has like a much bigger explosion, basically, and can also freeze people. But in the games, it's used to freeze multiple targets, so it would have this sort of outer hitbox that doesn't do any damage, but will freeze somebody if it goes past them. You can either be hit by the missile and receive damage, or you can like dodge the missile slightly, but it could cause you to freeze, and that way instead. So I've taken pretty much the missile special and the charge beam special and kind of combined them and it made it so that you have to really think about what beams that you use for the right situation and when's the right time to use missiles and all of this and what missile works best. Do you do a super missile or do you just fire off a charge beam? I've sort of thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And then the down special is the morph ball.
Yes.
So it's not the morph ball bomb; it's the morph ball itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's really odd that Samus doesn't use this really in her moveset.
Yeah.
And
I've always wanted
technical
this.
limitation.
I've always wanted this.
So Samus turns into the morph ball, and then it's not like a fully different moveset or anything. You can roll around and you can jump. I was debating whether or not pressing the jump button causes Samus to jump out of the morph ball, and that might be better, but for now I've kept it as, you can do the morph ball jump while in morph ball mode.
Change out with shield or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you press the B button or the A button while in morph ball mode, that's how Samus drops bombs.
Yeah.
And she can drop up to 3 bombs at a time before she has to wait for the first one to go off. But if you press down B, or if you press up B, or maybe even if you press side B, Samus will come out of the morph ball that way instead. And shield as well will also cause a... Basically, you can go from morph ball straight into shield by pressing shield, or you can go from morph ball straight into screw attack by pressing up special, and stuff like that. So I just feel like it should be there, and it's a pretty easy idea to implement into Smash. It's essentially a form change, but because you don't have to make a full new moveset, it's perfectly doable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then the final Smash can probably be the same thing, like the super thing. Maybe you could call it the Omega Beam after Metroid Dread. I was trying to think if there was anything from... I think there's like a special beam at the very end of Metroid Prime.
Yeah, the
that you use.
phase-on beam, I believe.
Phase-on beam, yeah.
beam?
Well, the phase-on beam actually has to use phase-on around, like as its ammo. I'm trying to remember if maybe that is what it is. You use it against Metroid Prime, but that could just be a reskin version of what her current Final Smash is, to be honest.
Well, there's also the Omega Cannon, which appeared in Metroid Prime Hunters, which is weird that they're using Omega again as like a special beam. But that was like that. I mean, that was literally like a one-hit KO. So maybe, yeah.
I mean, that would fit for what you'd want a Final Smash to be.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what I came up with for Samus. It's still got the same sort of core idea as the Samus's current moveset, but it's a bit more of a fresher take that uses a bit more of her moveset and adds a bit more like thought to how you would approach playing as Samus.
Yeah.
I'm sweating even more. So Samus was my third pick.
I thought Samus was going to be your first pick.
Yeah, well,
I was worried about that.
Yeah, well, Samus is my main, and Samus is like my favorite character, so that's a very reasonable assumption. There's just so much that like I felt like I would really have to like really dive in and like figure out all the different like beams and abilities and missiles and stuff just to like make sure I was making something good, which is why I ultimately didn't really go for it. There's a lot of things we did similar, which is like standard A is what would become like your charge, your shots. Very similar to Mega Man, you can move around. My whole thing with Samus is I instead of Prime, I kind of wanted to push it more towards how she feels in Samus Returns and in Dread, where she's a lot faster, a lot more aggressive. Part of that is just me wanting Doomslayer in the game, surely. But it's also just how I'm a maniac when I play Samus, so it would just fit me a little more. So you can move around and shoot. F smash would be the full charge shot. Like I said, this was only my third, so I didn't really fill it out as much as I did DK or as you did Samus, obviously. But like the parry from Samus Returns and Dread could be the new F tilt. And I absolutely also wanted her to have like the full morph ball transformation. That's like a no-brainer. So yeah, I think the way you did it was really cool. I like the kind of like the mixing and matching and using that to choose the best weapons. Ice Beam is another like obvious. You have to get that into a new Samus moveset.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big things I've always wanted from Samus and Smash Brothers are the Morph Ball, definitely, and the Ice Beam, just because it's such a fun thing. But yeah, I really like what you did, because it changes Samus entirely to Smash. So I like the fresh perspective on it. It turns her into a gunner with lots of options, and that kind of fits Metroid way better anyway.
Yeah.
So I really like this take on Samus.
Yeah. I think if there's any character that's gonna have a bunch of different like gun type things and can switch them out, it should be Samus. Like that kind of makes a lot of sense, you know? So I'm happy she got a lot more options, because all these DLC characters have like twice the moveset, so I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, that's I'm a little curious now, because we've done 2 OG characters, which makes sense because they're the oldest. They have a little bit of an outdated moveset. You're gonna break that, PK?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? Hello. Okay. So where do I start? Okay, I'm just gonna just say the character. It's Inkling, because literally I remember seeing the trailer and it's Inkling, and I'm like, yes, like I played Splatoon like crazy. I love Splatoon. I played Splatoon 2 a ton. Like I was so, there was such a period of time where I was just playing Splatoon all the time, especially because I didn't really like, you know, I'm a Nintendo kid. I didn't really play many shooters. Now having like a shooter that like I like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Love Splatoon, right? Character is shown, like we finally see gameplay after like so long, and I'm like, I don't know. I felt really underwhelmed. I'm like, why is she kicking? Like, like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. So my moveset, really, honestly, like some stuff are the same, but really, I was just like, no more kicking. You are now just a shooter. Like, you are now a ranged character. Don't get close to me. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Like that. I just doubled down on that like crazy. But before I super get into the moveset, I did change a little bit of the things with the ink, because I do that's one thing that I think they did well. I like that you can recharge it and put it on the stage and you shoot people with it. I don't really super get how like you get them covered in it and blah 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 blah. I think if it's just on the stage and they're like running on it, that should be like more than enough to slow them down. And I also think that if you shoot it like on the edge of a stage, it'll droop down to the side of the stage, so you can like cling onto that and recover through that. Like, you don't even need to grab the ledge. You can just swim form through the ink and just get straight up. You'll be like vulnerable the whole time, but I think that'd be really cool. But if we're getting into the normal moveset, jab would be totally the same. The splatter shot, shoot thingy, that moves totally fine. The dash attack would be the umbrella dash, because, okay, to be fair, Splatoon 2 didn't like exist then, but I'm gonna add like Splatoon 2 stuff because like duh. So it would be like the umbrella dash, pop open the umbrella, hit them, good big move, fun. All the tilts would use the slosher. So I imagine like it's less hitting them with the bucket, but more like throwing the paint there, and then they have like a multi-hit damage like while the paint is kind of going through them. It's like down tilt, you almost just drop the bucket and it falls forward. Forward tilt, you know, you flick the bucket. Up tilt, you do the same thing right above you. And if it would, I feel like it should be possible to where like even the tilts, like every single move can in some way put ink on the floor. Like even if it's just a little bit, they should be able to do something. And then if we go into the smash attacks, up smash is the same. I like the blaster, I like the big explosion, that's cool. Down smash is the dualies, so she like shoots both sides of her with the dualies like 3 times or something like that. Yeah. And then the side smash is like I think it's like the me gunner. It's like the heavy splatling where it shoots a bunch of little ones and then a big one. So that's all the ground and normals. And then when we go into the air, the forward and the back air are both variants of the brush. You know, just swipe it forward, swipe it back. It's keeping that simple. The nair is the only thing that like isn't some sort of weapon. That could stay some sort of vague kick. It could be like popping into like the squid form and out of the squid form and doing a little flip or something. That one I kind of just left. I just put squid flip. I don't know exactly what I meant by that. I'm assuming like just, you know, generic hit thingy. Up air, you would raise up one of the zap fishes and it would do like multi-hit like electric damage for a second. I think it'd be cute if like you raise it up like you're celebrating, but in the meantime it's like shocking your opponent. And then down air is where the roller is. So instead of slamming down like with your gun, you slam down with the entire roller. So it's the same thing but huge and stronger, which I thought, you know, made a bit of sense. And it's not the side B anymore, spoilers. But we'll
Thank
get
God.
into that. Yeah. So the neutral B I changed into a charger, because if you're gonna have a move that's used to cover the stage fast, it should be a charger. You know, you're gonna hold that button and you're gonna shoot a line forward, and it's gonna cover like a good amount of the stage and also be like a better like kill move from further away. But the catch is when you're in the air and use it instead of a charger, because like you probably don't have enough time in the air and that was just weird. I don't know. Instead of a charger in the air, you use the new bow. Now I know we know nothing about this game yet, but I was on the wiki and I was looking at some stuff, and apparently from the trailers that we like, the 2 clips we have of Splatoon 3, when you use the bow like on the floor, I think it's like horizontal, but then when you use it in the air it's vertical. So I'm like, okay, vertical like makes sense for a 2D fighting game. So if you use it in the air, it would shoot like 3 arrows like diagonally down, but they would like spread out over time. And that would also be like really good for covering space. You'd probably have to charge it for a second. And I think that'd be really cool to like do off stage or something like that. But yeah, so neutral special switches to that in the air. And then okay, up B is the same, but it's gonna be a lot like worse because right now it's really good. The reason it's worse is because if you use up B on the stage, you place down a beacon instead of using it on the ground. So then if you use up B in the air, you go straight to that beacon. Don't ask me how the code and the math is gonna work to put you up and then down at the beacon. It's gonna happen.
It's like a set hero zoom. Oh yeah, that's
yeah. I don't know if you'd go like all the way up, like all the way up and all the way down. Maybe if that's how it has to work, sure. But beacon is cool. And because I don't know, it feels weird that the moveset doesn't really use many like secondary abilities and like items like that. So continuing on that same subject, down B. So this one, when you press it down, you can either go left or right after you press down B. If you go right, you place down a splash wall right in front of you, just the whole wall. So obviously, like, characters will like take damage and like a little bit of hit stun going through it. So if you hit somebody in it, they're kind of stuck there for a second, and you have a good chance to follow up. And again, more items. That's cool. If you go back with down B, you throw a sprinkler. Now this, when you throw the sprinkler, you throw it up in the air, and it doesn't do anything till it lands. So your opponent has a good chance to just destroy it before it even touches the ground. But if it touches the ground, it's gonna start spewing ink everywhere for a couple seconds. I imagine it's like, I think I want to say like Meowth, like how he throws the coins, but just spread that out a bit more.
Yeah.
And have it drop back down on the stage eventually. So that will happen with that. And then side B will be the burst bomb. If you just press it, if you flick it, you throw a quick burst bomb and it explodes. Makes sense. But if you hold it, it turns into the splat bomb. And then it could lay down and explode later like it does right now. So that was the moveset to make her more, like have more tools and to be more of a ranged character. I think everything else is fine. The costumes are perfectly fine. Taunts and everything, perfectly fine. Final Smash, Killer Whale, honestly, that's pretty iconic. That could stay. I mean, there's a million options, but totally fine. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Inkling.
Nice. Inkling is a choice that like I honestly didn't really think of, but I'm really glad you did it. I do kind of agree, and it kind of ties into how I feel about Samus and just like besides like them and Mega Man, there's like I still don't really feel like the Smash roster, like there's no character that really embodies the concept of Gunner that much, just because a lot of times when they do add these characters, Mega Man does some good stuff with being able to shoot and move, and I guess Banjo does that as well with his neutral B. And there's like just like the emphasis on range with Samus. Mii Gunner has like the F smash for Mii Gunner, I think is really great for a Gunner character in general. But I do really agree that like a lot of it is like using a lot of tools is really important to the vibe of the character, and consistent range. And it's something that I struggled with for movesets for like when I did Henry Fleming, is it's like I need this character to be a Gunner character, and your base instinct is to just give them kicks, but it doesn't really fit.
Hit them with the gun. No.
Yeah. So like I don't know if it's like a matter of like not wanting to create like have them use different guns for like all of these different moves, and instead it's like they can just sit with the one, and if it needs to be like a swipe with the gun or a kick or whatever, that's a little bit easier to like justify. But I mean I like your upgrades or upgrades to Inkling.
I'm flattered.
Yeah, to Inkling. I think that's a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, Inkling wasn't one I thought of either. I think it's because of how new the character is.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of any real way to modernize them or modify them in any way. But considering how versatile, like how wide their armory is in those games, there are like various ways that I suppose the Inkling can be presented. I remember back before the game came out, I was always thinking of a way to try and implement the ink where you could actually go inside of it and move around the stage, sort of have that stage control. And it was something I could have revisited for this video, but I completely forgot about it, to be honest. But yeah, no, it was a good moveset.
Where does the like normal just kind of like splatter shot happen in this one?
The jab. That's
Jab, okay,
basically
cool.
it.
Yeah, it's still the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Cool. Yeah, and thankfully you did not choose my character, because if you did, I would have really been screwed.
That would have just been bad. Yeah.
Well, what is it then? All the build up.
Yeah. So my main choice was, I would say, more along the lines of pizzas with DK, and a little kind of almost a little bit the opposite of PK's, where for Inkling, the vibe, the costumes, the like personality is all there and correct. For this one, I feel is probably the main thing that I would like to change. So mine is from Melee, and mine is Bowser.
Oh.
Okay. Oh.
So for Bowser, for one, is a character that I at least have a little bit of experience with. I've played enough Mario games, so I felt comfortable doing it. My thing with Bowser is, much like DK is like kind of like the Smash heavy, feels like a gorilla, like a brawler, grappler, and that just kind of like it defines him in Smash more than the personality of DK from the games. I feel like Bowser is more of like, I've heard it said like Bowser is more of like a kaiju moveset, where it's like just a big lizard, has a couple things that are really like identifiable as Bowser, but a lot of it is like slashes, very similar to DK. Again, the voice is just like generic growls and not the more goofy cartoony voice. That's one major reason why I felt like I wanted to do him and update him a little bit. Unfortunately, I couldn't just say change the personality and animations and change the voice and call it a day, so I had to get some new moves as well. There were a couple key things I felt were missing that I'll get to. Those basically all became specials, and a lot of it is to help bring in more of the boss elements and help him feel more like a boss as well. And the main things that I didn't include from that angle or anything that is like technical, like he has the Koopa cart or Koopa copter, and he has like Mecha Koopas and stuff like that in Super Mario 3, but I'm not going to use that because Bowser Jr. took that. Yeah. So the normals and the grab stuff is all pretty similar. I feel like he does like slash and punch enough that's pretty okay. The dash could be a little more reminiscent of him charging you in Super Mario 64. And then just like get rid of the kicks. Like, when is Bowser kicking with those stumpy little legs? So that's okay. Aerials, I added, actually, weirdly, a lot of stuff from Super Mario RPG. So the Nair would be the slash, which I believe is his fair now, but that would just be his slash. Up air and back air would be his spikes kind of grow a little bit out of his shell, and that's what he hits with. And that's in Super Mario RPG, he like actually fires the spikes out, which I didn't want to do, but they extend a little bit, and that I think that would help him feel a little more cartoony, the same way that like Mario's fist gets huge, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As for the other ones, fair would be this little triple flame burst that he would kind of shoot outwards. It wouldn't go super far, but especially if you're right up close to him, it'd be pretty strong. And that's from the new 2D Mario games. And then dare would be kind of similar, shooting a bunch of flame downward, and that would be from Super Mario Bros. 3. For the smash attacks, as I said, with the DK thing, I felt like a lot of it was moving specials to smash attacks. So F smash would be a flamethrower that appears in many games. It would work fairly similar to Mii Gunner. You would just blast flame forward. There would be a strong finisher, and it wouldn't go forever, or like you wouldn't be able to hold it until it just kind of fizzles out.
Right.
Up smash was like a move I debated having in because it is iconic and it's like a key part of early Bowser, especially, that has appeared every now and then. I went back and forth on it. I ultimately added it. It is a hammer throw, obviously first appearing in Super Mario Bros. The first one. This would be strongest at the start point, and then like the lower arc of the hammer, it would have not very good range at all. It's a very small arc that just goes from above him to like maybe like a foot down in front of him, but it would be pretty spammable, and he would just throw a hammer, one of the Hammer Bros those hammers, and it would spin around and fall down. And the down smash would be the shell spin, which is basically what the up smash and up B are now. You would have a little bit of movement, so you can move along the ground a little bit while you could do it, but I felt like that made a little more sense as a place to do it. So now getting into the specials, to speak of the one that's going to stay the same, just in a different place, the up B is now the Bowser Bomb, which is from Super Mario Bros. 3, and pretty much like DDD, honestly, but I felt like it just made a little bit more sense here. It would go higher, and it would come down the same way and just slam down. As for the 3 things that appeared in a lot of places that I felt were really missing, Neutral B is Fireball.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is, he just launches a huge ball of flame forward that would be really strong. It wouldn't, I don't think it would have like any what of a multi-hit the way that like Heroes Charged Up Fire does. I think it would just be a huge ball of flame. If it hits somebody, it's a big explosion that knocks them away. The side B is, I'm not sure if it has a real name, but it's the Spike Bomb, which is the round spiked ball that he'll roll and throw out, and then if you get hit by that, that's an explosive. That's in a lot of things. It was most recently in Odyssey, so that's another kind of iconic boss move that isn't seen here. And down B is called Shockwave, which is a key part of a lot of Bowser boss fights. Super Mario Galaxy, it happens. Super Mario 64, I'm pretty sure. A very important part of the 3D Marios. He would either stomp his foot down or do a tiny little hop and slam down, and a shockwave would be sent out. I guess I didn't think about, I don't know if it would go just in front of him or if it would go all like to both sides of him. I guess let's say it would go, it would depend if it was a stomp or a jump. Let's say it goes out in front of him just for ease. So he would stomp his foot down, a shockwave would go along across the ground really low like Terry's neutral B. So you are able to jump over it, but if you are hit by it, you'll kind of get that hit stun for a second and be locked there and then get launched away.
Yeah.
And then the final smash, like many other final smashes we mentioned, is actually pretty good. That doesn't have to change much. There's a couple things you could do to make it feel a little more Bowser, in my opinion. I would say, for one, just make him literally get bigger and not change him into like the Giga Bowser giant monster kind of thing. Or you could use Fury Bowser now, maybe, but that's new. It's only in one game. I would understand not using it. You maybe have him light the stage on fire while he's transforming big before he does that one big punch. There's a couple things you could do to change it up, but the core concept is totally fine. So that is my Bowser moveset.
Cool. Yeah. I like a lot of the new moves you put into it. Yeah, I really like the idea of having both a flame breath and like a longer range flame projectile. That matches. So I've never thought about giving Bowser the hammer toss before, but I really like that idea. It's like, oh wow, now he has a projectile fire and he has a hammer toss, so you can actually like play him like Super Mario Brothers Bowser. That's really cool. So there's just a lot of moves I like, and I really like the idea of using the shockwave and then it actually like does the hit stun. You know, that's something not just Bowser, but a lot, several of the Koopa kids do as well. So no, there's just a lot of new moves in there I really like.
One thing I was thinking of for the side special is in Mario Galaxy, and I think in Odyssey as well, he has that move where he basically goes into his shell and another shell essentially appears on the other side and rolls towards Mario. I know for a fact it's in Galaxy. Yeah,
it's in Galaxy. I kind of like just including that mentally in the category of like going into shell, which is where the new down smash came from. But yeah, that being a move would make a lot of sense too. I mean, that could even be that could be like a rolling dash attack, like how DK's is now. Side B would make a lot of sense. But yeah, definitely that was something I was considering. And also give him his wedding outfit too.
There we go.
Yes.
To match Mario.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that like when I think of Bowser, one of the first things I think of is Mario Maker. I don't know why, but that's like the second thing that pops in my head. So when you said like fireballs, I'm like immediately at home. Like, yeah, why? I get the flamethrower, but why is there not fireballs? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then the shaking the ground stunt thing is such like a boss thing to do, and obviously he does it a lot because that's what he is. So it just makes sense. Like that's what this video is. But like,
yeah,
it's like, dang.
Yeah, I mean, and it very well could be a difference of being an outsider and like coming from playing these games and then
Yeah.
like having Smash as its own finished thing, where it's like, oh, what about this would make a lot of sense, kind of thing. But it's probably, I'm sure it's very different when you're actually developing the game and trying to figure out what makes a character like fit and feel unique in the roster or something. But a lot of it is also just like the older Smash designs weren't as insane as the new stuff, especially the DLC.
Right.
Yeah.
They just weren't as, they didn't, either for technical reasons or just like they just weren't sure what would like work in the game and not just be totally broken.
Right. I think Nanten talked about, I feel like Brawl is when they started introducing characters that like, oh hey, all of their attacks are abilities in their games, and then 4 on was like, it's that plus lots of new gimmicky things.
Yeah, I'm really happy with all the characters we did. I think that like those are clear choices. There's like another clear choice I know a lot of people are going to say, but before I get to that, my fourth backup that I really would have been screwed with if I wasn't able to do Bowser, DK, or Samus was going to be Isabelle, just because her move. I like the core idea that her moveset is like a lot of non-violent things that she's using to fight, but still the fact that she's like a villager semi-clone, I would like if there was some way, whether it was like for Isabelle or if Tom Nook was chosen instead, like some way to utilize the other aspects of Animal Crossing. I don't know if it would be more like buildy or like resource like driven, but it's just one thing that like I wouldn't mind Isabelle changing up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I remember when I was young and I wanted Tom Nook in Smash, way before Villager was ever introduced. My idea was always something like a fighting style where you're like using leaves, and the leaves like pop into different furniture for different attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would fit with the Tanuki theme. Yeah.
I didn't really officially make a backup, but one I considered was making a Bowser Jr. that's more Bowser Jr.-y and not completely committed to the Koopa Clown car. Where basically I would have just relegated the Koopa Clown car to a recovery. You fly up, you drop out, it explodes. And then use a fighting style that's more based on his older appearances. You have the paintbrush for a lot of attacks. And what that could do is you ink people up like Inkling, but instead of like having a stacking ink effect, if someone's covered in ink, it just makes them randomly trip as if they were playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And
Gosh.
and then some special moves based on his earlier boss appearances in like New Super Mario Brothers, where he can like throw Koopa shells and like hide into his shell, kind of like a Kirby down B type of thing. So that was something I toyed around with, but I never fully developed.
Honestly, I'm surprised no one went for Ganondorf and Luigi.
That was the other.
I feel like Ganondorf was the big one we
Ganondorf
had to talk about.
Yeah.
I purposely avoided both of them because I thought they were really obvious ones. Like Luigi, you can just have a Luigi's Mansion inspired moveset where he uses the vacuum cleaner and the different elemental ones from the first game and all of that for his various specials.
He's got that vacuum jump in the new one now too.
Yeah,
burst everything that could be his up special.
Or up smash,
yeah. There's like stuff you could work with that, and then Ganondorf obviously making him a bit more of a mage, especially now that we got his back Ocarina of Time Ganondorf. You can give him his trident back and make him this kind of long-ranged, heavy-hitting type character with the charge beam. Where you can have like a charge attack. What's it called? Well, the tennis move, basically. I know it's got a
Dead Man's Volley.
That's it, Dead Man's Volley. Like having that as his neutral special, because it really should be
that needs to be his neutral special. Yeah, the other characters, all of the characters in Smash, I can at least say that, hey, even if they need updates, they still at least remind me of the character. And Ganondorf is still the biggest offender of like, he doesn't feel like Ganondorf to me. He feels like derivative of Captain Falcon, who at least now he has 2 Ike smash attacks and 1 Cloud smash attack, but he could still be Ganondorf.
Yeah, if there is a future like full kind of Smash reboot, if they really cut down the roster and revamp movesets, he's like candidate number 1. If he's still a Captain Falcon semi-clone or like Captain Falcon Ike hybrid after that, like we're gonna have some problems.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. They won't change Ganondorf. They'll just cut Captain Falcon because they've lost interest in F-Zero.
Yeah.
Let's see how many people that messes up.
Yeah, please. I sincerely hope we don't show up on that like gaming post that aged too well thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, Ganondorf is just such like like Luigi. I agree. Like I think he is another really obvious choice to like you can fully make him his own character to this point. At the same time, I do understand in theory having him still be very similar to Mario, just because that is a core part of Luigi, and like in all games that he's in with Mario, he's like Mario but a little bit different. So I think that's why I didn't really go for Luigi. But yeah, just like changing up more of the specials. What is the side B? Why does he have that side B?
What is the up B?
Yeah, like there's just like
Yeah.
like if you literally just replace those with like a poltergeist suck and a poltergeist like the jump, then we're fine. Like then I wouldn't have that much to complain about.
Well, it's funny too. When Luigi was introduced in Smash, we talked about this a little bit with Donkey Kong. When Luigi was introduced in Smash, I think it was before they really established his personality as a character in the Mario games.
Yeah.
Where they, in Luigi's Mansion or Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, where I think they started like, okay, this is how Luigi is different than Mario. In Smash, the original 64, they kind of just made Luigi, he's Mario but weird.
Yeah.
And until Brawl, he didn't have his Luigi voice, and in the original in Melee, it was just high-pitched Mario.
Yeah.
And remember his old Final Smash? Like, I'm not gonna let that slide. What was happening?
I make a bubble of negative energy. It's my suppressed emotions.
Which is so funny because it's like if they ever added Waluigi, I feel like that could be his final smash.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I never thought of that.
Or like him doing a weird dance and everyone is just really weirded out around him. That fits perfectly. Yeah, Luigi's another one, but yeah, Ganondorf is like I don't think I could fully flesh him out just with like I don't have enough experience.
Yeah,
with the boss fights and all.
Well, I would unlike just changing a few things, I think like with Ganondorf, if I was to do Ganondorf for this video, it would be such an overhaul that
Yeah.
like it's like it's like basically a new character anyway, because I think that's what he needs. Is he just needs to be a different person than he is right now.
Like I don't necessarily have a huge problem with how Ganondorf is in Smash. Like I think they've got his like overwhelming strength through quite well, but he does need some magic based attacks.
Yeah, he doesn't use any of his abilities.
While removing the Warlock Punch would be sad because it's so fun. He does need Dead Man's Volley, and standard neutral is the best place for that to go on.
Yeah.
I don't think I would give him like a teleport for his up special.
Nah.
Maybe he could even keep the same up special. It's kind of hard to think of. The only other thing I could think of is if he had, like, he has the long cape, you could do like a sort of thing where he, I don't know, like kneels down and then jumps up really high or something, and the cape sort of flaps and pushes people away. But he has the trident, so that could be a lot of his standard neutrals could change. Where he's essentially got a spear, so
he could feel the up B could feel almost maybe like Peach, where like he would jump up and then kind of float down, like float around. That could maybe I'm not sure about giving him the float. I know that Project M tried to do that with a Ganondorf mod. I think you could take stuff from his classic Pig Ganon form though, like the fire bats and
that would be pretty cool.
Like the sort of a down special that's sort of similar to Meta Knights and Greninjas, where he sort of disappears and reappears, because I think Ganon could do that as well. So that's some other ways you could sort of change up Ganondorf.
In Ocarina of Time, he has this move, besides just the floating, he has this one where he like dive bombs the stage with a magic like shockwave. So I thought that could be kind of an Ike-esque up smash or
that could work for that could also work for a down special. Where he like punches the ground if he's on the ground, or if he's in the air and then he like slams down.
I kind of like the idea now. I like the fire bats for the recovery. He just dissipates into a bunch of fiery bats. You fly around and they reassemble. Kind of a Dracula thing.
Yeah, exactly. You could always move Warlock Punch to like down B too. Like King Dedede has a
just get rid of Warlock Punch.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm like, it's fine. You can go.
Yeah.
We got
Move
enough.
into the forward smash or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I am a powerful wizard. Behold my magical abilities and dual-wielding sword powers. Punch.
Punch.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Is there anyone else that is frequently brought up of like this character needs an overhaul? Like Samus has been, I feel like, a hot one recently.
Yeah.
That I've heard a lot. Obviously, Ganondorf is like I think the overall consensus one. You said Luigi, all of our picks, which are like DK and Bowser, are more personality driven.
Most of the things are kind of, one thing I've always wanted was Yoshi to have, for one thing, a real recovery special.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, fair.
also have his eggs actually work like how they do in Yoshi games.
Yeah,
And you have the
I was
cursor.
going to do Yoshi originally for that specific reason.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really think of a good place to put the egg to move other than his up B anyway. Because, like, you kind of need the tongue move, and
Sure.
the ground pound works very well for down B. I suppose you can make it as down A, but I also like his flutter kick for down A.
Get rid of the
So-
egg roll.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could get rid of the egg roll, but I don't know.
Turn it into a dash attack.
I guess that's a way to do it. I don't know.
He has it for his shield. It's fine.
It's also the only like move I would change on Yoshi if I did Yoshi, which is the other reason I didn't go for him, because this is literally just
It'd be
changing
the other
a single
thing is,
move. Otherwise,
I don't
it's
think we
fine.
could. Yeah, I don't think we could do a whole thing. It's like, here's how I change Yoshi. One move change. All right, that's it.
Yeah, it's popped out there.
Egg roll could be down tilt too. I mean, we put a lot of like moving and like rolling type of moves in down tilt now.
True.
So, like it feels good. It feels like a good movement option. It's just a good place for that kind of attack.
Yeah, the only other ones I was thinking of were the Earthbound characters. Because obviously
was-
Ness and Lucas
Yeah,
don't
there's a
really
lot you
feel.
can deal with that.
Yeah, Mike, because I had a moveset for Nanten that I made ages ago that tried to make an Earthbound style character that actually played like Ness and Lucas.
Yeah. That actually uses their abilities, not just borrows Paula's and Kumatora's.
Yeah, but when I started thinking about it, it's like I was going to do Ness, I realized because his neutral special is Flash. I think that's what it's called. PK Flash, and then his
Flash.
down special is PK Shield or whatever. Like, those are moves he actually has, so I'd only really be changing the side B and up special, and I couldn't,
Please change the side B.
I couldn't think what up special I would change Ness's to, because unlike Nanten has like a sort of this move called like 4D slip or something, which is
Yeah.
essentially like a short form teleport that you use to escape battle. But Ness doesn't have anything like that, so I couldn't really think of anything that would replace.
You could use teleport beta, I guess, but I don't know.
Maybe it wouldn't feel necessarily like teleport in the actual games, although I guess PK Thunder doesn't necessarily act like PK
No,
Thunder.
not at all.
That's
There's
what I like
nothing,
about
there's
it.
nothing Earthbound about using PK Thunder to move around and get
Yeah.
yourself to fly.
Yeah, I
That's-
suppose that is
What
true.
the heck?
But you could change the side special to like attack down or defense up or some sort of stat changing ability.
It'd be interesting, yeah, because normally Neff's like a buffer, debuffer, healer. It'd be interesting to
Yeah.
see if they could work that in Smash.
I mean, a lot of the moves in Earthbound are pretty vague, like they're pretty colors, but like it's really up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's like, I don't know if it's Crusades or some other like family games I've seen, like a lot of the moves just kind of double down on the pretty shapes, like how like the different kicks in like Nair has the circles, and for Lucas like I don't know the name of that shape, but the blue and yellow stuff.
Yeah.
Moves will just like have a big area of those, which works, I guess.
Yeah, I was wondering if Nessa Lucas would come up. I sincerely didn't know enough about Earthbound to like know if they're represented well or not.
They've
They've gotten better over the years. I think. I
feel
think
like
their
they
neutral.
do-
I think their neutral attacks are fine.
Yeah.
It's just the specials.
And up B, it's like even if that's not how it works, up B is I think a very unique recovery in Smash. So
Yeah.
like I do like it in principle.
I do think a character that if we don't mention we're gonna get yelled at is Sonic, because
yeah.
what the heck. He
I
just
actually-
goes into a ball.
I don't have too many problems with Sonic, because like his Brawl moveset was almost literally like those are actually his attacks in Sonic the Fighters, and it includes a lot of spinning, but that's exactly how he worked in Sonic the Fighters. All those I went through that game and all those moves were like direct references. But then and then they changed him up in 4. They gave him some more kicks. So The only thing I don't like about Sonic is that he has 2 specials dedicated to spin dash.
Yes.
You really only need one, and there's other fun options. You could do peel out, you could do boost, you could do light speed dash, you could get really weird if you wanted to. You could do bounce bracelet, I don't know.
I completely either side B or down B should be changed. I think that is like even back in the Brawl days. Like I had played a couple Sonic games. I wasn't like the biggest fan, but even back in the Brawl days, I was like, why are these 2 moves the same thing?
Exactly, absolutely.
Like whether side B became homing and there's a new neutral special, or just like some kind of like super speed dash for side B, it could get changed up for sure.
I think my idea has been a boost where you just run even faster, but you can't pull off any other moves, and if you touch somebody while you're boosting, it just makes them trip. It's a tool, and it lets you go even faster.
Okay. Well, the only other thing I even like wrote down was vaguely Pokemon, because there's just a lot of options for every Pokemon. Specifically, I was thinking like Pikachu with stuff like that, like he uses in the anime, like Iron Tail or something, just for some of his like taily moves, or like a more like Electro Ball kind of thingy. But yeah.
I always wanted to see Pikachu get updated with Iron Tail.
Even if it was
Jigglypuff,
just, like,
I guess,
visual.
you do fairy moves, but
That's true, yeah. But that's kind of it, I think.
Yeah, let us know what character you would like to redo. If you have a really passionate, fully unique Dr. Mario moveset, then leave it below.
I did think about Dr. Mario and I couldn't think of anything that would work.
All right, well, let's wrap things up here, starting with Pizza.
I'm PizzaDudeManGuy.
Hi.
Oh, yup.
Nanten.
Yep, you can find me on Source Gaming or the Nintendo Chronicler. Easiest way is just follow me on Twitter at Mr. Nintendo.
All right, PK.
Hi, subscribe to me, YouTube, PK King 544. I like character design and Rivals of Aether and modding characters into that. Yeah.
And I'm John. I'm here, Room 100. I guess now's a good enough time to say it as ever, but we've been talking since Smash DLC is coming to a close. We currently are planning on doing 2 more episodes, which will come out in October and December, and then stepping away from the series. Whether we come back to it or not will probably depend on the tides of Smash coming and going, whatever happens. But we felt like that was probably the best way to pick a couple final really good themes and go from there. So if there's any themes that you really, really want to see, even if you've recommended them before, feel free to share them again. We'll probably try to pick the last 2 fairly soon. So until then, be sure to check all these guys out. Subscribe here if you want to see more. Go check out the other episodes as well.
Oh, also, John, you were on my channel.
Yeah, me and PK played Rivals, which is the first time I had played Rivals, and we had a really good time. It's like a music-focused episode. I played as a bunch of musical workshop characters, so it was a really fun time, and I would like to do it again. I might at some point, especially with Smash winding down, might try to make a character myself. We'll see, but yeah, definitely go check that out as well. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.